What is the Baha'i Fund?
Okay, Baha'i Fund is one of the important institutions of the faith. Of course, by institution we mean one of the aspects of the faith which is quite important. Of course, that means contributions, especially financial contributions, for the progress of the cause. Many other religions in the past have relied on sacrificial and generous contributions of their believers and their adherents to progress the cause of God. The Baha'i faith has the same concept. Baha'is are called upon to sacrificially and generously contribute towards the progress of the faith. When Baha'u'llah declared his mission and the Baha'i faith started to grow, and especially after the revelation of the Kitab-i-Aqdas, the most holy book, one of the important laws in the Kitab-i-Aqdas was the law of Huququllah, the right of God. And perhaps that law became the first opportunity, if you like, for the friends to get accustomed to the concept of giving for the path of God. Of course, Huququllah is a different law and should not be mistaken with the Baha'i Fund.
Why do we contribute?
There are a number of ways we can answer this question. Firstly, Baha'u'llah says that with the fire we test gold, and with the gold we test our own servants. So by sacrificing or giving sacrificial contributions to the fund, we have been told by Baha'u'llah that we are passing our tests. So that is the first one. But of course it is correct that every individual Baha'i can decide how much he or she can contribute to the fund, but we can also learn from the writings that one can measure his or her own level of spirituality or degree of spirituality based on how much the person is giving to the fund. Secondly, we as the Baha'is, we are the only source of this lifeblood of the cause, which means that all the institutions and the great projects inspired by Baha'is around the world, they're all dependent on how much we pay to the fund. Amelia Collins, one of the earlier believers, has said that by contributing to the fund is the safest way or the only way that you can transfer your money or your possessions from this world to the next. And of course, if naturally you think about if you love someone, of course, you like to do everything or give everything that you have for your beloved. And by giving to the fund, of course, that is what we are showing, a sign of our love and dedication to Baha'u'llah.
Who else benefits from the Baha'i Fund?
It is also the opportunity that Baha'u'llah has given us to be able to use our material possessions for establishing the kingdom of God on earth, and in the process also grow spiritually. When we contribute to the Baha'i Fund, we are truly giving a gift to all humanity.
Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of the Baha'i faith, referred to Baha'i Fund as the lifeblood of the cause of God. I think if we think about the word lifeblood, it becomes very important. Like a human body, if we don't have enough blood in it, we call the person anemic. An anemic person does not feel strong. They get tired very quickly. Now we can imagine in the faith, if we don't have enough lifeblood, what will happen to the cause. So this continued and continuous contributions by the friend ensures that the work of the faith can be done. All its projects, all its aspects of the work can happen in a timely and well-mannered and well-managed fashion.
Where do the funds go?
The Baha'is are called upon to make contributions for the purpose of fulfilling the needs of the faith at three basic levels. At the local level, at the national level, including regional levels, and of course at the international level. Every care is taken to spend these funds very responsibly and with maximum effectiveness. I'll give you some examples. At the local level, the activities of the community at the local level has to be maintained. For example, we have children classes, activities for the children. Education is very important in the Baha'i Faith. Any aspects and the costs to hire halls, schools for children, getting books, printing books, materials for the children is included. Also, we have 19-day feasts, we have functions, we have celebrations. A couple of examples at the national level. Then at the national level, for example, in Australia, we have a temple, we have a house of worship, and we have many other Baha'i properties. We have several Baha'i centers of learning. We have now Baha'i centers of learning in Brisbane, in Sydney, in Perth. A land has been purchased for Victoria. We also have a Baha'i Center of Learning in Tasmania, in Hobart, and also in Adelaide. And all these places which are open to all the people, and we offer educational programs, do require a lot of expenses, not only for the building, but also for the educational aspects which happens, and the courses that the Baha'is offer. In the temple, for example, at the temple, we have also many other buildings, and of course the Baha'i temple is going to be the hub of many social and educational activities in the future. We will build schools, universities, house for the aged, hospices, and other facilities. And all these facilities, again, are open to everyone, but again, to build them and maintain them, you require funds. In Australia also, we are very pleased and privileged to be asked by the House of Justice to occasionally contribute to some special projects internationally. And they call them international collaboration funds. Through these funds, the National Assembly of Australia over the last many years has been able to make contributions to many international projects, primarily in form of building or maintaining Baha'i centers in the Pacific, for example, Nepal, even Africa, Congo. We had a project in the Pacific Islands, buying temple lands, like we contributed towards purchasing the temple land in Hungary. And all these projects not only strengthens the community here, but also establishes loving bond and everlasting bond between Australian community and these other communities. At the international level, the contributions that we make to the House of Justice, again, it goes to international projects. The world, as you know, some countries are very rich, like Western countries, and some not so rich. And the contributions get distributed to countries that need them. And the House of Justice spends a lot of money on education and welfare of developing nations in the Pacific, in Africa, in South America, and so forth. And of course, the beautiful gardens in Haifa and Akka and Baji and the World Center, they also need a lot of upkeep. So these are some of the examples of where we spend the money. In summary, the Baha'i Faith is about serving humanity. And of course, with serving humanity, we need to meet the costs. And Baha'is are called upon to rise to the occasion and meet these costs. And only Baha'is can do this, as I said earlier.
دست از کرم به عذر تنگ مایگی مشوی برگی در آب کشتی صد مور شود.
Hardship should not excuse one from giving. Even a single leaf can save 100 ants. O thou faithful one of the requirements of faithfulness is that thou mayest sacrifice thyself and, in the divine path, close thine eye to every pleasure and strive with all thy soul that thou mayest disappear and be lost like unto a drop in the ocean of the love of God. There was a time when sacrifice meant shedding one's blood in the divine path. Over 20,000 devoted souls did just this. Among them Suleiman Khan. For them, sacrifice meant giving up their life, their freedom, and all their possessions for the faith and humanity. The question we should ask ourselves is, today, what does sacrifice mean for us? And do we sacrifice and contribute enough to the faith?